Hey guys, Cam315 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another Chicago Bears news update video for you guys, even though it's a day late, but might as well talk about it because I need to talk about it because it was a big move. And the big move, the two big moves, were probably some of the most obvious moves the Bears could have made at the start of their offseason plans. And that was strictly cutting Eddie Jackson and Cody Whitehair from the team. Listen, those were two of the big moves that, well, two of the moves that the Bears were more than likely going to go in that direction and they were just going to do. Um, and yeah, it wasn't, it's obvious. It was obvious that they were going to do that. You know, listen, at the end of the day, I can talk about both players, but at the end of the day, the contracts Ryan Pace paid them, listen, they weren't worth or they weren't playing up to the caliber of those said contracts. So that's the thing. Listen, Cody Whitehair, me and my uncle, when we talked about it, the Bears, we weren't really fond of Cody Whitehair. We thought Cody Whitehair was just he's all right, but he's not that good. But, again, I won't discredit what he does. He played in the NFL. He's playing in the NFL. The Bears are multiple times actually just did they made this guy go at different positions, whether it was the center position or a guard position, and then back to the center position or the guard position, then back to the center position and the guard position. And the guy, Cody Whitehair, if there's one thing I'll say about Cody Whitehair, he's the type of guy that he'll do what's asked of his coaches and he'll work at his absolute hardest to try to get the best out of. Obviously, the play didn't live up to what happened to the contract he was paid. And that's basically it, listen. It is what it is. Honestly, I I'm fine with the move. I'm fine with the move. You weren't getting anywhere with Cody Whitehair. Cody Whitehair wasn't making the team better. If anything, he was making the offensive line worse because of his bad play, the last few years. Then we get to Eddie Jackson, and Eddie Jackson's just an interesting case, man. Interesting case. And, the first couple of seasons in the league, he kind of broke out and he was actually really damn good for the team. When he was trying to fight for a spot and everything. Because remember, he was coming from Alabama after his pretty bad knee injury. The Bears gave him an opportunity, and he just freaking just came on and just put on a good show. And then 2018 was probably his best year, and as an NFL pro straight up, his best year as a Chicago Bear. And you expected big things from him going forward after he got paid, he got locked up. Bear fans were obviously hyped that looked like he was going to be here for a long time and a staple of the defense. And then everything he did in 2018, he didn't do, or if not rarely did from 2018. And he wasn't that impactful of a player. And you kind of saw how much he was more of a hindrance to the team than a help. I'll say only hindrance. I won't say like worse off. The team was worse off with him because the one thing about Eddie Jackson is he was a really good leader for this team. He really did help the locker room stay together, and it was a good, healthy environment locker room when he was around and everything. But at the end of the day, his play didn't match up to the contract for getting paid in 2018. And it doesn't, and I'll say to his defense, it didn't help the fact that he had constant injury after the 2018 season. After the 2018 season, the guy couldn't stay healthy. He just couldn't stay healthy. He got hurt, I think, sometime in 2019, and then he just repeatedly kept getting hurt. I played football. I got hurt going into my senior year of high school football. Came back from that injury, basically was healthy all season long, and then trained for college football, at least for 1 year. I get hurt and I mess up my knee. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna call it a career. I'm just gonna stop playing foot. I'm just gonna stop because I don't want to play a very physical sport and then constantly have to rehab and come back and things like that. Um, and really my knee injury kind of prevented me from playing again anyway. So whatever. Regardless of the fact, the constant injuries that kept coming up, like he had an injury this past season where he was out a few games. Yeah, he was able to come back from it with the foot injury, but like how much of that injury affected him? He was out the whole season prior before that. And last season he was pretty damn good. And then he got hurt and he was out for the rest of the season, you know? And that was kind of the thing about Eddie Jackson. We were hoping at least he turns it around and he plays some better football to where, okay, maybe you can make a point in, okay, maybe we need to keep this guy. But when you look at the money he's made and you look at the production he's had, he's not basically playing up to the worth of that said contract. And if you're not being paid up to said contract, well, I'm sorry. If there's a way to get out from under that contract and a way to alleviate cap space, well, you take it. And that's what the Bears, what Ryan Poles did with this decision. Essentially, releasing Eddie Jackson and Cody Whitehair. The Bears ended up saving $21.6 million. They now have the third most cap space in the NFL with a total of 68.4 or 68.5 million and things like that. So then the Bears basically just increased their cap space and now they can actually use it to do what they want freely in free agency. I bet there's rumors I saw that the Bears, in terms of getting a center, they're going to go look in free agency, which makes sense. You want to go get a veteran center, especially if you're probably thinking about bringing in or drafting a Caleb Williams potentially or another rookie quarterback. On top of it, one of your top premier defensive players in a Jalen Johnson, he had an all-pro season, Pro Bowl season. He's asking to get paid. You can now use some of that money to pay Jalen Johnson and give him some of that money. Honestly, that alone should just tell me there's no excuses if you don't pay him. There's no excuses if you don't pay him. So, listen, it sucks to see guys like that go. Not really much for Cody Whitehair for me personally. Eddie Jackson, yeah, I'll say that because he was one of those players that fans just love to support and love to be around. Obviously, some fans did start to sour on him the last few years because of his play, myself included, because he just wasn't playing up to what, hey, he was playing in the 2018 season. But, again, at the end of the day, that's the thing about the team, about these sports teams. Sometimes you got to find ways to best improve your players. And if it's to cut people, you got to cut them. You got to let them go. But obviously, hopefully for the best for Eddie Jackson and Cody Whitehair, they find new teams that they can succeed on. I don't know where they would go. Cody Whitehair, personally, I think would go to a team that needs just an offensive line. Now, I personally think he might be a guy that might be like, I don't know if he'd be starter material. He might be. He's pretty respected. Um, he could be. If not, maybe just a guy just signed for depth. As for Eddie Jackson, to be honest, I don't know where he goes. He could go somewhere. I don't know if he'll probably be a starter somewhere, maybe for like a year or two. And then he'll probably just be kind of a backup. If not, anything could potentially be retired, but we'll see. We will see. No, that's the thing it is. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the decisions that the Bears just made in regards to Cody Whitehair and Eddie Jackson. And hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Chicago Bears content or either content I upload to the channel. Till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or night. Which the video. Peace.